Hi guys, Bolt here once again with some more Wargame Red Dragon, and once again it's a replay. I know you guys want live commentary, but my voice was not recorded with this gameplay, so it would kind of be like a really dull live commentary, wouldn't it be? You would only hear a raptor, which shouldn't be a big deal, but yeah, I'm not gonna upload that. Anyway, another 2vTuesday against Infiltrator 82 and Vito R or Vitor. I am playing with my American deck, and I think Raptor is playing with his, I think, German deck. Could be Eurocore. Let's see. We will see in a second here, as soon as he deploys more units. Anyway, let's look at some of these markers. So Infiltrator will block off at that tree line, and he will go to Lima. He's not going to Hotel, which is kind of a good choice, because usually this place turns into like a really big bombing area or really big tank fight. So it's best to just put some AT gems in these buildings and some AT gems in this tree line. Infiltrator, I think one of them was, I think it's Vitor that was new. So it's kind of a more a unit with more experience, and kind of like a new player. That is a unit, yeah, a player with experience and a new player playing together against us. Not really the most balanced game or the most interesting game, but it was definitely fun to see some of these units working. So let's look at the unit composition first. So yeah, Cayuse, Dorniers, Fuchs Fufu, Kyler. I think Raptor is going German. Could actually, oh actually no, it's yeah, he was going Landshoot. There we go. So he was playing with Landshoot. I was just playing with NORAD actually. So this is a Landshoot NORAD deck, and the only Canadian units are Centurion Marksmans and some Canadian infantry. And I don't think I actually have them in the start. Oh, there we go. Somebody's Canadian Rifleman, I believe. We will see them in a second. Could be Highlander. I think it's Highlander 90s even. So yeah, that's basically my loadout, together with some MH60 DAPs. And I think the enemy is playing with some sort of Eastern Bloc deck and what looks like a T72 M2 Wilk. Polish. So yeah, Eastern Bloc here. And we have a Czech deck on the right side. So yeah, definitely going to be a nice combination of units. So the thing with these DAPs is, when you use them, is to just keep them flying. In this case, the enemy does not have any AA helis, but I just keep flying with them so that they can just keep firing without having to stop. They do have stabilizers, as you can see, 70%. And if you just keep flying, they can just keep flinging off missiles. And the thing that people do, which is not a good idea, is stop with their helis to actually fire the missiles, and that takes about 5 seconds. And that could mean, that could be the difference in between taking the front line or not taking the front line, and, you know, perhaps even losing the game. So some Delta Force, American units and Highlander 90s, 20 guys total going towards the front line. 60 DAPs were coming up to do some damage. Did kill a few of these BMP2s here. Well, not BMP2s. Well, some Moyutkas and some of those SPWs there, I believe. Could be OT-64s. Yeah, those were OT-64s. So, Delta Force getting in CQC against those VZ carries. And we also have some Panzerovich, which is basically like a MAW team in the back. Delta Force with that M60 and MP5 ST does do quite a lot of damage up close, as you can see. Only 14 guys left. And then the Highlanders come in action as well. And together they will be able to do a lot of damage. Chinook coming up to do some damage with that minigun, hopefully. But he gets immediately attacked by the BVP2s and gets stunned and killed. On the left, I have a secondary force coming up. A Bradley, some LVTP-7A1s with small teams, and 2 MBT-70s with those lovely AT gems, big ass cannon, and the auto cannons. In the back, I have some LVTPs and some empty Bradleys and my AA pieces. On the left side here, Raptor met a little bit of resistance here on the left side. 140 points, probably a tank and some infantry. He has taken over the middle with a lot of Schwarzenegger 90s. 2 Kylers coming up to cover this open area, and a Cayuse for recon. And if we go to his point of view here, you can see that recon and this recon sees a lot of the enemy units, which is a really nice recon placement. But we're gonna keep it in the neutral mode for now. So, MBT 70 and Bradley's moving up to look for that command and kill off anything that comes up. Highlander 90s and small teams are finishing up with the Fizet carry here, and Bradley's are coming in the flank to reinforce that eastern side. Mi-35 coming up, which basically makes me retreat with the APCs here and move up my A8, as you can see. One Centurion Marksman with that lovely range on helis, and the iHawk Pip 3, which has a real good range on helis as well, but is primarily meant for taking down aircraft, or basically airplanes, I should say. So not much happening in the middle. Enemies basically just setting up defenses, some Granatomет AGSs, OT and a T-72 Wilk. If Raptor decided to push, he would have probably taken the middle, but it's just the fear of the unknown. The enemy might as well have like 10 tanks here and a buttload of infantry, you never know. So yeah. Centurion Marksman coming up, taking down the Mi-35, OT-64, unloading just right on time there. And if he's at Carry 90 are going to do some damage with those RPGs if they actually manage to fire, which they don't. They move north, and they get in contact with the LVTP-71, which annihilates them completely. And if you're in this position here on this map on the right side, best thing to do is move up infantry right here, so you can basically block off this bridge. The enemy cannot see you until they basically go... Well, they can see you if they cross this intersection here, but they will probably only see you when they are like right here if they don't have any recon with them. And at that point it's kind of already too late, because they will just keep driving, lose line of sight when they're on a bridge, and get side shot when they are on the bridge. So Lonely T-72M moving up. LVTP is moving up for some reason. I was probably attack moving towards this area and he decided to go on the right side. Actually surviving a tank shot because it missed and stunning that T-72, which gives the Bradley enough time to kill it with that ATGM, which was nice. Let's go to Raptor's point of view here. He sees a lot of aircraft being used on the left side, so he's kind of just playing it safe. He moves a lot of some tow helis, some AA helis up to cover against those aircraft. He spots those FJBs, which makes him move back with the Cayuse, and he's playing more of a defensive role. At this point, I am suggesting that we take this small town so we can basically pincer into Lima, because if we take this town, we basically cut off any reinforcements leading to Lima, and then we can basically just siege it. Cayuse is being attacked. I warned Raptor, but it's already being hit once, and the second time it goes down, which is not a huge deal since we're leading quite a lot. So I moved this M3A2 Bradley CFV up, which is a really nice recon unit. It has 25 AP on those 12 TOW2 missiles, and it has a Bushmaster cannon with 60% accuracy. This is a really good unit, only 75 points, and you can just kill, like, if you're really good, you can kill 12 tanks. Alright, that would mean that they would have to hit all of them, and all of those missiles will have to hit in the side or in the rear or in the front of light tanks. Tornado ECR brought up to do some sort of siege mission, but sadly there's not a single radar gun turned on. There's a Tunguska here, but he just turned off all the weapons. He could just keep that Sackless on, but the thing is, just the turn off button is easier. You basically click one button on your keyboard and you just turn on all the weapons when needed. And you know, sometimes when people keep the Sackless turned on, they click turn off weapons by accident when they see a valuable target, and they basically turn off the Sackless missile as well. So it's kind of good that he does it like this. I mean, when he needs to kill a helicopter, he can just turn it on and turn it back off afterwards. We do spot this SPW command on the left side. The Cayuse spots it. Enemy does bring up a Sopel, but I think Infiltrator thought that the command wasn't spotted, so he does not move it. I immediately responded with some artillery. He survives the first shell and has enough time to actually get away from there before the second shell hits. actually, which actually misses. So really lucky command unit. Third shot coming up, which also misses. So we have a cluster strike coming up, taking down the T-72 Wilk, which is a big blow to the enemy's forces here. And that basically clears it out of any resistance. I mean, he can basically just roll up with like 20 infantry units and take that place out. If he just moved up a Fallschirmjäger 90 with the cover of the tanks, he would have cleared this area out easily. But then again, if I was in Raptor's position, I probably wouldn't have dared to do that either, because usually people have this place filled up with AT gems and anything else. And if he did push up, he would get attacked from the west side anyway with all of these BMP2s, all of the infantry and the tanks here. So with my good defensive position on the right, I don't decide to move up more. If I did, I could have probably gotten my small teams into his base and probably taken over Kilo, but then again, it's not really necessary. And at this point, I kind of knew that the enemy would have probably reinforced that that bridge, so I didn't really try to do that later on. So I have some artillery coming up to do some damage on these Vidras and BMP2s here, since we spotted it with these with the recon heli here somewhere. I forgot where it was. Yeah, the Cayusa here, which was being flown back because it got damaged. So Fallschirmjäger 90s with the MG3 and the H and K G11, capable of doing quite a lot of damage with the MG3 alone. As you can see, Commandosi is just being annihilated. Every burst is basically one kill, as you can see. Really powerful unit. Just annihilating that Commandosi unit out in the open. Fallschirmjägers do get stunned by the BMP2 fire, so he just falls back with him for a second so that they can calm themselves again. Second Fallschirmjäger brought up to do some damage on these Commandosi with the MG3, bring them down to 1 unit. And they magically survive. I think they die later on from some artillery fire. Cluster coming in as well to try to do some damage, but the enemy basically already moved out. So at this point, I'm just saving up for a push into Lima. I am bringing up some smalls and some, I think, US Marines in Bradley's. And I, of course, keep moving my Paladins, since the enemy might have any counter-artillery. But we don't see any counter-artillery in this game. BMP2s and Vidras, really nice fire support from those units. As you can see, it actually does quite a lot of damage to these guys, killing off about 4 or 5 of them before they even get to engage the infantry and kill them off. Machut's 90 moving up, but Raptor makes the best decision and moves back with that depleted unit and moves up a fresh unit to try to do some damage here, but immediately gets stunned by all of this fire here, which, as you can see, just annihilates that unit. He makes the right decision to move into the flank so he can quickly dispatch that unit, and then he basically keeps moving to take out these Vidras and BMP2s with the Panzerfaust 3, which has 24 AP. One of my favorite RPGs, really, but I think the best one in my opinion is the one that the Rima 85 have, with the 20 rounds per minute, 25 AP, and really nice range. That one is probably my favorite. I need to play with that unit more often. Anyway, what I also wanted to say is, please check out my Grand Theft Auto 5 videos. I really want to just expand the channel. Only Wargame is not going to do it. In the future, I will probably slow down on Wargame and, you know, just do like once a week of Wargame when like Active Aggression comes out and other games come out. I will probably just limit that to like 1 a week. And yeah, I don't have a lot of time. Besides, like after college, I basically don't have a lot of time left. I basically only do my recordings on my weekend. So it, you know, I just don't have a lot of time to just only do Wargame. I just want to do some different things to keep growing the channel, because Wargame is kind of like a dying series, really. Just not a lot of people play it anymore, and just the people playing it are like dieharders, which only they play like 6 hours a day, and only care about their like their win rate or kill death ratio. So yeah, it's starting to become that basically. But yeah, be assured that I will keep doing Wargame. It'll just not be the amount that you would expect or that I'm uploading right now. And yeah, just check out my Grand Theft Auto video. I think you will really enjoy it. It's really funny in my opinion. I played with Vulcan HD Gaming in that one. Link should be down in the description, so definitely go check it out. There will be more of that. There will be more active aggression, more Total War Attila. I need to do some more campaigns and some more multiplayer matches with those, definitely. And yeah, well, basically anything that is hot at the moment. I won't do any Call of Duty. I just swore not to do that. Just whatever happens with that game. As soon as they actually get their acts together and do something good, I will actually do that. But yeah, I'm just not gonna do that. But yeah, besides, I don't know what I should upload more. Like GTA, Total War Attila, Wargame, Active Aggression. I need like 2 or 3 more titles to really keep this channel growing. But yeah, just leave me a suggestion like down below. Like what are the new titles coming up in late 2015, like before the summer break, after the summer break. Just let me know, and I'll give it a go, and I'll try it out. There's Fractured Space, which might be interesting. It's something like EVE Online, but easier. You basically pick a ship, go fight, earn XP, upgrade ships, or buy like newer ships. Basically like what War Thunder was in the beginning before they effed it up. Well, yeah. Just let me know down below. Anyway, let's continue with this war game. I kind of like went into that area since there was nothing happening, but now on the east, Vitor is doing a push. Not really a good push. Mi-25, 3 tanks and AA, and some Conquerors on the left side. Century Marksman absolutely wrecking that unit in about 2 seconds. And my Highlander 90s and Smalls and Delta Force US Marines will have no problem holding off this assault here. MH-60L DAP is being moved up to deal with those helis. And I am also doing my attack on the left side with all of these units, like all of my infantry and all of these fire support units. And as you can see, that really helps in this game. If you fire from multiple angles, they just get annihilated. And this crossfire is just deadly. There you go. That's it. FJB down. So I basically mark my artillery strike, I believe. think I was bringing up something. Actually, it might be this longbow that I'm bringing up to clear any tanks here. And I'm also bringing up 2 of these FA-18C Hornets to deal with any tanks on the field. And as you can see, with 2 of those, I just deal or just kill off these 2 tanks. And I think that these units are sometimes better than the A10 because they just get in quick, definitely kill something, and then just evac in like no time. And the A10, there's like a high possibility of that dying if the enemy has like some sort of AA there, like 1 missile and 1 gun-based AA. And it's basically dumb because it takes like half an hour for that thing to get out there. Anyway, 2 starfighters laying down napalm on the Conquerors and the FJB. AT-Gem plane coming up to take something out there. I've missed what it was. On the right side, Mi-35 and 2 T-72s coming up to try to take out these MBT-70s. But with that autocannon, they actually managed to kill off that Mi-35 and that tank. But at this point, they're being flanked by the T-72M, and they're showing their rear armor, which makes it an easy target. MBT-70 trying its best, but with only 1 bar of health left, it's a no-go. So I basically just blobbed up in that town, made him have that forest, and I basically just focused my attention here on the middle and on the left side. So if we just speed up a little bit, since there's not a lot of things happening besides here. Nighthawk coming up, taking down the BMP-2s and 1 star. SU-22 M4 coming up with 2 1-ton bombs, which I actually missed since I was not paying attention on the right side, and does quite a lot of damage there, as you can see, killing off 2 units. Starfighters and a MLU coming up with the cover of the Tornado ECR as a seed plane. And this is really important right here in destruction. If you're not able to hold the front line, do exactly what Infiltrator is doing right here, which is falling back with his most valuable units, leaving something behind to keep an eye on the enemy. So yeah, he moved back his Tunguska, his Recon BMP, his T-72 M1M, his Conquerors M. That's a lot of points right there. And he also moved back his MIs. So really good move. Otherwise he would have probably get annihilated by all of these units that I'm moving up. MLU coming up, taking down a 5-point transport, I believe. Yep. 5-point truck, definitely worth that $150,000 Maverick. I don't know how expensive that thing is in real life, but it's probably more. So I basically bring up this longbow to spot anything on the battlefield, and my goal was to find that T-72M, which was in this forest. But as I said, he basically made a tactical withdrawal and moved back with his T-72M, which kind of made this longbow useless. I do have his Hellfires turned off, since I don't want it to just randomly fire at something. And at the same time, I moved this Bradley up and my LVTPs up. Tunguska getting a really easy kill on that longbow. Even if I had that, had those Hellfires on, I think I would have been stunned too quick, so it really wouldn't have mattered that much. But even if I did, it really wouldn't have mattered that much for the points either, so it's just a waste of a longbow. So I do manage to get some small teams over and some rifleman units over, and the Bradleys are basically drawing the fire of that T-72 M1M. Artillery coming down on my rifleman 90s, doing quite a lot of stunning damage, and that second volley barely misses, which was quite fortunate. Right side, enemy has taken up positions in this small tree line here and now moves up with 30 VZ carry with the fire support of that OT-64C and the T-72 M1M, which forces me to move up my Rifleman 90 with the AT-4 and my US Marine 90 with the AT-4 as well. Really good RPG units, or RPGs. You could say it's one of the best, but I still like the Apilas of the Ruma 85. So with those M16s and Minimes and the M60s, they have no problem taking out the Vizakari, and the LVTP is stunning the T-72M, which is kind of amazing, really, which gives these guys enough time to take it down with the RPG with the help of that M3A2 Bradley. RM70 attack coming up with HE. Kind of too late. He should have probably used it on the town to stun my infantry before he moved up with his VZ carry. Then he could have really taken over that place. MiG-29 912A coming up with thermobaric bombs to do some damage on these US Marines, and I think I was paying attention on the left side here, and this actually does quite a lot of damage to my men on the right side there. So we're kind of moving on the right side. Some Fallschirmjägers moving out in the open. Riflemen getting wrecked by that Mi-24D before it gets damage enough for it to actually fall back, I believe. I might have remembered that wrong. We actually managed to kill it. Nope. That's a really lucky Mi-24D. So that charge out in the open kind of got blocked off by the Mi-24P. I do a Nighthawk strike to get rid of that T-72, which definitely helps out. But we still have a lack of anti-air in the front. Raptor does counter this by bringing up those Bow 105s later on, and I also bring up 2 of these Super Cobras to kill something with those AIM-9Ms, with those Sidewinders. So he basically falls back with the Fallschirmjägers, which is a good move. Otherwise he would have lost these 2 as well. The Jaeger 90 will stay in this forest to basically see everything that the enemy has here, except for the infantry in the forest and in the towns, of course. So I still have these 2 units here, the 2 Bradleys, but they're definitely gonna get wrecked by the Commandosi and Chotas mechs. So this is something that I hate. The random firing of your helicopters. I did not pay attention there, or I did not think, and I just kept moving them, which brought it in range of those Sopals, which had a blast killing off these Super Cobras. And the second one gets killed by the Vidrus. Really pricey, but really it didn't really matter that much. I just basically threw it at the enemy to see what they got, and it actually made me kill that Sopal, so it was not a total loss. Cluster attack coming in from Raptor. This one is definitely going to, oops, almost kill that command. I think one of these actually hit the command. Could be the Draken Wands or WDNS. I just call it the Wands. I know some guys are raging right now. It's the WDNS, goddammit. It's the Wands for me. And that's a really good unit as well with 6 of those bombs. And that destroys that command. So at this point it was basically a bombing campaign, really. Just basically bomb everything you see or don't see. Napalm strike coming up on the Special Aufklärung to do some damage on those, and the Conquer's M. Special Aufklärung are being pushed outside of the town, which basically puts it, or makes it spotted. So with that, we know what the enemy has in those buildings, and we know how to counter that, which is a lot of tanks and a lot of infantry. Bow 105s, taking down one of them. Losing one, but also taking down the second one. Good deal, in my opinion. Kylers moving up, taking down that Special Aufklärung, and also the Conquer's M. 2 squads of those. Really lovely tanks, those Kylers. Really nice cannon, and an autocannon definitely helps as well. MiG-25 RBF coming up, taking down a Kyler. I think it even killed 2 of them, and taking down some infantry there as well. MiG-29 912A coming up, being used as an ASF at this point because it does have 2 close range Wimples, as you can see, and it makes it out as well. Leopard 2A4 being pushed up, but immediately retreats as soon as it spots these 2 Hinds. And the enemy also counters by moving up T-72 M1M. So really interesting game. It's, as I said, not the most intense one. It was just a lot of fun to do this. And they recognized this, so we just had to upload it. It was just for the funsies. So yeah, hopefully you had fun as well. Anyway, let's return to the right side here. The enemy is doing a second counterattack. And what the enemy should know here in this position is that the second counterattack from the exact same place does not work. So yeah, the second time I'm prepared, and I basically move up more of the same units, which basically killed them in the last fight. which is more US Marines with AT4s and LVTP-71s, which absolutely annihilates this unit here out in the open. Rest in peace. A T-72, a basic T-72 moving up. Really good against infantry, but not so good against a lot of Bradleys. And you will see in a second that he gets annihilated by the toes of all of these Bradleys. Rest in peace, T-72. And that was basically the last kill of this game. So, a nice game, in my opinion. The enemy did really nice. Thank you for joining us, Infiltrator82 and Vito-R, if you're watching this. Raptor, thanks for playing with me once again. I know you guys want live comms, but as I said, my voice was not recorded in this one, which is a kind of a big problem if you want a live commentary. But yeah. Anyway, so please watch my Grand Theft Auto video. Link is down in the description. Also, leave me some suggestions for future series, for future games that I should definitely check out. I am planning some more GTA, Total War, occasionally War Game, Active Aggression, of course, and maybe Fractured Space. I don't know. It's kind of a really long-lasting game. Like a match can last for like 2 hours. It really depends. And yeah, just let me know what to do with my channel. You guys are the viewers. You guys will decide what I do with it. But yeah, if you did enjoy, do all the good stuff down below. Like, subscribe, comment, and I'll see you in the next one.